Hello everyone, I am Pankaj and I welcome you all in the world of English grammar. My dear friends, today I am going to discuss about a very important and very interesting lesson of English grammar. But before starting that, let me ask some questions from you. What do you do in the whole day? During the whole day, many people do many activities. Not only that, many of us possess many things and many of us have different situations and different states. So today we are going to discuss about this. But what do you do? Especially you. You're reading or writing or both. I think you might be doing both because you're students. In the evening, what do? You move in the park, you walk in the park alone, or you play with your friends in the park. Might be any one of these or both. What your parents and relatives have? They might have a car, or definitely you and your relatives also, they must have a pen. So you have got different kinds of actions, you have got different kinds of states, and you possess many things. Yes, exactly, you're correct. That is what today we are going to discuss. Isn't it interesting? Yes, this is very interesting. And the name of the lesson is verb. Yes, this is called verb. Let's see the definition of verb. The word in a sentence that denotes an action or being or possession is known as verb. Some examples are there. A student reads a book. This is an action. You can see here the word which is underlined is an action. Ram is in the park. This is being, means the state of a person. Again, I am referring to the word which is underlined. The next one is I have a car. Here the word car suggests possession. So, the word in a sentence that denotes an action, being or possession, this is known as verb. As I told you that you must be reading a book. Yes, this is an action. Reading is the name of an action. You can see in the picture that a student reads a book. You can see the state of a person. Ram is in the park, means his position is in the park. You can see that a person has got a car, means I have a car. So this is possession. So I can say that these are the examples of verb. Now let's try to classify the verb. We can define the verb, but we can classify the verb in many ways. Let's learn the first kind of classification of verb. The first one is transitive verb and the second is intransitive verb. Transitive verb. A verb that requires an object to complete its meaning is called a transitive verb. Here I want to tell you here that all the verbs do not require an object to complete its meaning, but some of them definitely need an object. Otherwise, they will be incomplete. So, a verb that requires an object to complete its meaning is called a transitive verb. For example, if I say Softy is the name of a girl, Softy ate ice cream. Here, if I only say ate, then it will remain incomplete. So, I must add an object, that is ice cream. You can see here both the words, the verb as well as the object are underlined. If I say Dipali writes a story, if I only say Dipali writes, then the question will come in our mind that Dipali writes what? So we must mention a story. Here writes is the verb and a story is an object. So these are transitive verbs, ate and writes, because they need an object. As you can see in the picture, Softy is writing ice cream, Dipali is writing a story. But what is intransitive verb? A verb that does not require an object to make sense but makes good sense by itself is called an intransitive verb. All the verbs do not need an object to complete its meaning. For example, if I say birds fly or Khushi laughs, in both the examples objects are not required. So fly and laughs, they are intransitive verbs. You can see in the picture that birds are flying and Khushi is laughing. Here flying and laughing, fly and laughs, both are intransitive verbs. As I told you that a verb can be classified in many ways. So now let's learn the second kind of classification of verb. They are divided in two parts, main verb and auxiliary verb. What is main verb? If there are two or more than two verbs in a sentence, remember it, if there are two or more than two words or verbs in a sentence, then one of them is known as main verb and other or others is or are known as auxiliary verb. Here you have to be careful because in a sentence there can be only one main verb, but a sentence can have more than one auxiliary verb. But if there is just one verb in a sentence, then it will always be called main verb. Main verb can stand alone. It means that main verb can give its meaning alone. It shows the action or the state of the subject. Action verbs always act as main verb. Here you have to be careful. Main verb shows the action or the state of the subject, but if there is an action verb in a sentence, then it will be always a main verb. It can never be called as an auxiliary verb. And there are different kinds of main verb according to their usage, and mainly there are four kinds of main verb. The first one is action verb, the second one is be verb, the third one is have verb, and fourth is do verb. Let's see them. Action verbs. The verbs which show action of the subject are known as action verbs, and they are play, read, sing, write, etc. Some examples are here. Mohan plays football. Naisha reads a book. Here you can see that in the picture that Mohan is playing football. So he is doing an action. Here you can see that Naisha is reading a book. So this is again an action. Let's see the be verbs. The verbs which show state of the subject are called be verbs. They are am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. Some examples are Tanishka is a student. Children were in the park. Here you can see in the picture that Tanishka is a student. This is not the example of an action. Here she is just showing that she is a student. This is an example of state of a person. Similarly, if I say children were in the park, here we are not talking about any kind of action by the children in this sentence. Here we are just saying that children were in the park. So they are showing the state of the subject. The third one is have-were. What is have-were? Have-words show possession. They are have, has, had. Some examples are, if I say I have a car, Khushi has a pen, they had a bungalow. Here you can see that I have a car. Here the word car is in my possession. This is not an example of an action or state, but here I want to say that I have a car, means car is in my possession. I own a car. If I say Khushi has a pen, here this is always showing that this is the example of belonging, means the pen belongs to Khushi. So again, this is an example of possession. Khushi has a pen. If I say they had a bungalow, you can see in the picture that they had a bungalow. Here they possessed a bungalow. They owned a bungalow. The bungalow was in their possession. So we can say that this is an example of have-were, because this is again showing the possession. Now let's learn the fourth kind of mean verb, that is do verb. Do verbs show action. They are do, does, did. Some examples are, farmers do their work in the field. Workers did the work in the factory. Here do and did both are showing action. You can see in the picture that there are many farmers in the field and they are working. So we can say that farmers do their work in their field. In this picture, you can see that there are many workers. There are 4 workers who are doing the work in the factory. So this is again an example of do verb, where workers did the work in the factory. So as we discussed now that there are 4 kinds of mean verb, but you have to remember that if there is just one verb in an action in a sentence, then it will be always a mean verb. And an action verb is always known as main verb. It can never be an auxiliary verb. Now let's learn about auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verbs are also known as helping verbs because they help main verb to show tense and to express the meaning of the sentence. They are of 2 kinds, primary auxiliary verb and secondary auxiliary verb. Now let's see what are they. Primary auxiliary verb, the verbs which act as both main verb as well as auxiliary verb are known as primary auxiliary verbs. They are be verb. Here you have to be careful. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, and these verbs are known as be verb. Have verb. Here have verb means have, has, and had. Do verb. Do verb means do, does, and did. So these are the verbs which act as both main verb as well as auxiliary verb. Sometimes they act as main verb, sometimes they act as an auxiliary verb. Since they can act in both ways, so they are known as primary auxiliary verb. Let's see be verb first of all. If I say I am going to office, here the main verb is going. Then what this word am is? This is also a verb. but here this is an example of auxiliary verb. If I say Vikram is reading, here reading is an action verb and this is the main verb. Now what this word is here is the example of auxiliary verb. If I say children are playing, again playing is an action verb and this is main verb, but are is the example of auxiliary verb. If I say he was writing, here writing is an example of action verb. This is the main verb in this sentence and was is the example of auxiliary verb. If I say they were dancing, here dancing is the example of main verb and were is the example of auxiliary verb. So in all these 5 sentences, going, reading, playing, writing and dancing, these are the examples of action verb, whereas am, is, are, was, were, these are the examples of auxiliary verb. So once again I want to remind you that an auxiliary verb is possible in a sentence only if there are more than one verbs. Let's see have verb. As I told you that have verb also acts as both main verb as well as auxiliary verb. Right now we are learning about auxiliary verb. Let's see how this have verb acts as an auxiliary verb. If I say I have reached office, here reached is the main verb and have is auxiliary verb. Vikram has finished his work. If I say Vikram has finished his work, here finished is the example of main verb, whereas has is the example of auxiliary verb. Here the train had departed before he reached the station. Here departed is the main verb, whereas had is the example of auxiliary verb. So in all these 3 sentences you can see that reached, finished, departed, these are the examples of main verb, whereas have, has and had, these are the examples of auxiliary verb. There is one more kind of auxiliary verb that is known as do verb. And you have to be careful again because do verb also act as main verb. But in these 3 sentences, do verbs are acting as auxiliary verb. Let's see these examples. I do not read at night. Here read is the main verb and do is acting as auxiliary verb. Khushi does not go to school. Here Khushi is doing an action that is going, and going is main verb and does is the example of auxiliary verb. Softy did not watch the movie. Here watching the movie means watch. Here the word watch is the example of main verb, whereas did is the example of auxiliary verb. So in all 3 sentences you can see that read, go and watch, these are the examples of main verb, whereas do, does and did, these are acting as the auxiliary verb. Now let's see what is secondary auxiliary verb. As I told you that auxiliary verb can be divided in 2 parts, primary auxiliary verb and secondary auxiliary verb. The verbs which act only as auxiliary verb are known as secondary auxiliary verbs. Here you have to be careful. The primary auxiliary verb act as both main verb as well as auxiliary verb, but secondary auxiliary verb act only as auxiliary verb. It cannot act as the main verb. They are also known as modal verbs. They are 13 in number. Let's see who they are. May, might, can, could, shall, will, would, should, ought to, must, used to, need and dare. These 13 verbs are known as secondary auxiliary verb. Let's see some examples. it may rain today. Here may is the auxiliary verb because rain is the main verb. If I say I can speak English, here speak is the main verb, whereas can is the example of auxiliary verb. They could reach in time. Reach is the main verb and could is auxiliary verb. You should work hard. Here work is the main verb, whereas should is the example of auxiliary verb. We ought to respect our teachers. Here respect is the main verb, whereas ought to is the example of auxiliary verb. He must take medicine in time. Here take, this particular word, is main verb and must is auxiliary verb. If I say Vikram used to go to office daily, here go is main verb, whereas used to is auxiliary verb. In all these 7 sentences, you can see that may, can, could, should, ought to, must, and used to, they all need a main verb because they are unable to express the meaning on their own. So they are known as auxiliary verb. Since they cannot stand on its own, they definitely need a main verb, so they are known as secondary auxiliary verb. So far, we classified verbs in 2 ways. However, verbs can be classified in many other ways. After the classification of verb, now let's learn the forms of verb. Mainly there are 3 forms of verb. Present form, which is also known as V1, past form, which is also known as V2, and past participle form, which is also known as V3. So mainly there are 3 forms of verb. Here is a list of some verbs which have got their present, past and past participle form. The present form is also known as V1, past form is also known as V2, and past participle form is also known as V3. Let's take the first verb, go. Its past form is went, past participle form is gone. The next is play. Its past form is played and past participle form is played. The next verb is read. Its past form is read and the past participle form is also read. The next one is write. Its past form is wrote and its past participle form is written. The next one is cut. Its past form is cut and its past participle form is also cut. The next one is speak and its past form is spoke and past participle form is spoken. So here you can see that different forms of verb are different. Each verb have got different forms in their past and past participle form. So we cannot say that each verb will have the same past form or the same past participle form. So far we have classified verb in 2 ways. Now let's learn the another kind of classification of verb, that is classification of verb 3. Verbs can also be classified in 2 other ways. They are weak verbs and strong verbs. Now let's see what are the weak verbs and strong verbs. Weak verbs. Weak verbs form their past tense by adding ed or d or t to the present form. So it's all about making their past form. If I say present tense, in present tense the verb laugh is there, then its past tense is laughed. If there is a verb receive in present tense, then its past tense is received. If there is a verb learn in present form, then its past tense is learnt. Here you can see that to make the past of all these verbs laugh, receive and learn, we have added ed and t. So they are known as weak verbs. The next one is strong verbs. Strong verbs form their past tense by changing the inside vowels of their present. Let's take some verbs in present tense. Come, its past tense is came. The other verb is know, its past tense is knew. The next verb is speak and its past form is spoke. Here we can see that we have not added anything in any of the verbs. We have just changed the vowels. So they are known as strong verbs. So weak verbs are made by adding something, whereas strong verbs are made by changing the inside vowels. Here are some important things about these two verbs. Now just observe how the past tense of the following verbs is formed. The present form is buy, catch and tell, and their past forms are bought, caught and told. Here we notice that in these verbs the inside vowel has been changed to form the past tense, but besides a changed vowel they also require a final d or t. Such verbs are also called weak verbs. So here you have to remember that even if we change the inside vowels, but if we add anything at the end of the verb to make it past, then it will be considered as weak verbs. Let's see the other important thing. There is a very simple way of telling whether a particular verb is weak or strong. If in the past tense of the verb there is present a final d or t that is not found in the present tense, it is a weak verb. So I hope now that you can very simply identify that which one is a strong verb and which one is a weak verb. So these were some important classifications of verbs. So we have divided verbs in three ways. Now I would like to draw your attention again on the first picture, that the actions, as you can see that children are doing something, one is reading and the other is writing. The being means the status, the state of a person. As you can see in the picture that a boy is walking and some children are in the park. Again, the possession, as you can see that a person has got a car and a girl has got a pen. So whether it is action or being means a state of a person or possession, these all are known as verbs. However, they all can be classified in many ways according to their usage. I hope you must have understood what the verb is. So from next time onwards, whenever you use a verb, be careful. They are simple but sometimes confusing, especially the forms of verb. I hope from now onwards that you definitely use the verb in the best way. So enjoy using verbs, make correct sentences, enjoy learning English grammar. Thank you very much for your precious time. Have a wonderful learning ahead.